I started carrying nuclear weapons in 1959. They wasn't near as powerful as we got now. They were atomic bombs, not hydrogen bombs. The ones we dropped on Japan triggers the hydrogen bomb, as I understand it.
Good evening, my fellow citizens. This government, as promised, has maintained the closest surveillance of the Soviet military buildup on the island of Cuba. Within the past week, unmistakable evidence has established the fact that a series of offensive missile sites is now in preparation on that imprisoned island. It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States, requiring a full retaliatory response upon the Soviet Union.
You know, we took off in B-52s. I was a B-52 pilot. I was flying what they call a Chrome Dome mission, which we kept B-52s airborne all the time, so we wouldn't be caught on the ground if missiles came in. And we prepared every B-52 in the inventory, loaded it with nuke weapons. As long as it could go, we were going to send every one of them. The president told us we had targets to bomb Russia. Khrushchev and Kennedy made the deal that they would keep a hotline and talk to each other before they took any action. We'd had that debacle to be a pig, and Khrushchev later admitted that he didn't think this young president would have the backbone to dare fight them. So he was surprised when Kennedy told him if he did not remove the missiles out of Cuba, that he would invade Cuba, remove the missiles, tear up the pads that he was building, sink the ship that was on the way in the high seas, and prepare his country for nuclear war. Close to World War III. And it was a high-stake poker game, as they call it, and just negotiating and trying to get the war stopped. And they did. That carried to me a connotation. If Russia would remove their missiles, we would never try to put missiles on Russia's border. And this is what we tried to do by letting Ukraine join NATO. But that was in October of 1962. February the 24th, 2022. That's when Russia attacked Ukraine, because we said we were going to let Ukraine join NATO. Now, if they join NATO, we're obligated to defend them if Russia attacks, if any country attacks. And in essence, we attacked Russia by giving them offensive weapons. And all we had to say was, we will not let Ukraine join NATO because we wouldn't let you put missiles in Cuba. Now, guess what's in Cuba today? It will be 62 years ago, this October. We have a Russian submarine in Cuba now with nuke weapons on it because of our insistence that Ukraine join NATO. And we've got nuclear weapons in Cuba. What are we going to do? We didn't talk about sinking them. We didn't talk about getting them out because we have no right to do that now. We were going to do to Russia what we wouldn't let Russia do to us. We are closer to nuclear war today, I think, than we've ever been. Every little country, big country, just about in the world has nuclear weapons. If one nuke goes off, I think they'll go off like popcorn. So I think it will be the destruction of the world, really. We have these terrorists now that we've let in through this open border policy. We don't know where they are. We don't, they come in and we never see them. They can start the war if they want to. They control it. Just look at it. You let everybody come in. Any person in the world can come here without being vetted, without reporting. That must cease. It must be overturned. what I think a representative ought to do. Think about the survival of this nation. Just simple answers. Tell the truth, be righteous, don't lie. If I'm the nut, I'll admit it, but prove it to me. That the Senate and the House ought to take over and run this nation until our survival is guaranteed. That take the power away from them now, re-swear them in that they can concentrate only on the survival of this nation. Vote out the open border policy, stop it immediately. Admit their culpability, close all immigration, shut the border down, because we're still letting people in. To this day, people are still coming in. When will we stop all this? Stop all immigration. That's what they should do. Stop all immigration right now and relinquish their power to govern. That's the only thing that's going to save the nation. I don't think they're going to do it, but that would be my solution. That's our only hope.